Hello and welcome to TFA Analysis. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.
Four main secrets that President Paul Biya has been using for 40 years today to remain in power as the President of Cameroon against the will of many Cameroonians. These are the four strategies President Paul Biya has been using to remain in power. And many people have been asking, what is happening? Is it that the people of Cameroon love him so much? The Cameroonians don't love President Paul Biya. They don't even wish him to remain in power or to be their president. But yet, every year, he is winning every year in each election. Here are the top four secrets behind President Paul Biya as the President of Cameroon for 40 years. If you are just joining us, subscribe to our channel, TFA. The first secret that President Paul Biya has been using, and the first strategy, is blackmailing. And many people will ask, who is President Paul Biya blackmailing? I will tell you, President Paul Biya has been blackmailing all top government officials, starting from divisional officers, directors, managers, up to the prime ministers, up to the President of the National Assembly, up to the President of the Senate. When President Paul Biya appoints them, he allowed them, he exposed them to a huge sum of money and allowed them to use the money as they wish, to embezzle the money as they wish, to mismanage the money as they wish, and later use those money, what they have eaten and cannot pay back. And later it started using it against them, threatening them. You must be a CPDM automatically, and CPDM must win in your locality. So it is do or die issue, because the money you have eaten, you cannot pay it back for CPDM to win in your locality. And when you stand up against him in any or disobey him, he will call you privately and tell you that all the money you were enjoying, moving from one place to another, misusing like that, was for a particular project. By that time, you know that if you do not be loyal to him, you will be taken to prison, as many have been taken. That is the same issue. That is the same issue. Many, even from many ministers, are in prison today because they disobey President Paul Biya. He discovered later that they are of little value to him, or CBD and failed in their locality. And he exposed and said that money that you were using like that was for this particular project. So that is the blackmailing is the first strategy President Paul Biya has been using to remain in power. So all these top government officials, minister, director, President of the National Assembly, President of the Senate, top military officials, they have nothing to say, nothing to argue. Because whenever you stand against him, he will raise an alarm. He will say, you embezzle the project money. Money for this particular issue. Money to buy this thing. Money to add the salary of the military. You embezzle it. And all the military will turn and be looking at you. All people in your locality will turn and be pointing fingers at you. That is the strategy President Paul Biya has been using. Blackmailing. And the second strategy he has been using is corruption. President Paul Biya took over power as the President of Cameroon on the 6th of November 1982. From that day, immediately after the struggle between him, the fight between him and Amadou Ahidjo ended, President Paul Biya struggled by all possible means to plant and to create a corrupt system. President Paul Biya creating a corrupt system in Cameroon was not a mistake or something that happened without his knowledge. He used it as a strategy. He knows that if he succeeds to create a corrupt system, and everybody in Cameroon becomes corrupt, that is how he will corrupt everything that he wants to do. And he succeeded in doing it. And today in Cameroon, everybody is corrupt. All sectors are corrupt. And everybody, and say everybody in Cameroon is corrupt. Even the church. That is the strategy of President Paul Biya. He corrupts the educational system. And through this, discourage many people from going to school. And he is using that illiteracy in order to manipulate the people. He corrupts the healthcare system. He corrupts every domain in Cameroon. And many people are below poverty line. And he's using their frustration. He's using their poverty for his own advantage. And that is why during election, we won't throw money, give sardine bread to people. And somebody, a Cameroonian, will say he's voting right just for a bottle of beer. That is a system President Paul Biya has planted. That in Cameroon, nobody can do anything to anybody without a favor. That in Cameroon, you must have a godfather before you can succeed. In Cameroon, you must be connected to that system before you can succeed. In Cameroon, after PhD, educational certificates, you must go for political certificates by joining popular political party, especially CPDM, and becoming subsection president before you can think of achieving your goal. That is the system President Paul Biya has planted in Cameroon. And everybody has a price in Cameroon. And he knows how to buy it. And seeing everybody, he has pushed thousands, millions of Cameroonians below poverty lines. And having the money that they were supposed to have, he's using that particular money, that same money, in order to buy their conscience. See, President Paul Biya is using favoritism in order to remain in power. And many people will ask about favoritism, because many people believe that favoritism is just to favor your relatives or your friends. President Paul Biya used favoritism in Cameroon in a very secretive way. And let me tell you today, President Paul Biya turned to favor all men, businessmen and women in Cameroon. All top businessmen and women in Cameroon. President Paul Biya has a strategy that is to send people to locate all, even within families. Anybody that is doing well within each family, he makes sure that he brings the person closer to him. And the bringing those top businessmen closer to him is by force. He does not ask their opinion. Because it is using taxes in order to bring them. When you start your business, they will give you a very high tax. And within that period, when you are struggling, seeing your business going bankrupt, then they will propose to you, join CPDM. And when you join CPDM, he favors you. You do not pay the tax. Even you pay not even 100 of what you were supposed to pay. And that is why in Cameroon today, you see top businessmen supporting CPDM. And in public or in some places, they are insulting that particular system. But they are inside. They are CPDM officials. There is one popular businessman in Cameroon. Every day he is on TV insulting CPDM, insulting the government of President Paul Biya, but he is a member of CPDM because of his business. If he says today that I am not, and denounce and say I am in SDF or in CRM, taxes, President Paul Biya will say, oh, you have been owing taxes for this number of years and you have to pay. So they are afraid. And it still boiled down and linked to the first point, blackmailing. So he is favoring them against, at the detriment of the common people. Because the common people tend to pay those taxes on behalf of these top businessmen. Search in your locality whether there is any top businessman who is not a member of CPDM. There is any rich person in your locality who is not a member of CPDM. They can sit somewhere in your locality and insult but they are there. They cannot show themselves publicly. President Paul Biya is also using teachers or a civil servant like teachers, police, and all other nurses, doctors, in order to remain in power. Ask this particular question. I'm asking this particular question. Have you ever seen any civil servant who is active in any opposition party in Cameroon? No, no one. There is no one. Not just one. Because when you show your head in any opposition party and you are holding a position there or being an active member in any opposition party, the government informed you where you are, will bring you down. And if you want to try, you try and see the consequences will come upon you. That is the threat, and that is the system President Paul Biya has been using to remain in power. President Paul Biya is also taking advantage of all weak institutions he has created in Cameroon. And secondly, he is the head of all institutions in Cameroon. He is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, meaning the military. All men in uniform, they fall under President Paul Biya. He is the one appointing generals, appointing police, anybody to any top post. So everybody is loyal to him. Because if you don't, he has the power to dismiss you the next day. And you are following him, not you alone, you and the family. You and your locality, your constituency must follow him. He is the one appointing members of election. He is the one programming and deciding when election has to take place. He is the one appointing director of a CONAC, those fighting corruption. He is the one appointing doctors in hospital. He is the one appointing principals, divisional officers of all departments. He is the one appointing any civil servant, anybody working with the government. He is the one appointing and telling them to be where they are. And if you want position in Cameroon, you must be loyal to him. And through this, he has created weak institutions. That even the judiciary, they are still dependent upon the President of the Republic of Cameroon. Because he is the one appointing judges in Cameroon. The legislatures, according to Constitution, has to be independent from the executive. But President Paul Biya is the one appointing the President of the National Assembly and the President of the Senate through the majority of CPDM in the House. That is why people who cannot talk are still President of the National Assembly. Kabaye Jibril. For now, all throughout this year, for 2 years today, he's not talking. He comes and just sing to the end, and people will clap, and the session of Parliament will go over. The President of the Senate is unable to stand up straight for 1 minute, but he has to be there. Because President Paul Biya said he should be there. Because if he say, I'm not going to be there by his own way, they will open his own page of money embezzled, money he has mismanaged. So he must be there. Most of them are not willing to be there, but they must be there. They must be there. You cannot resign until he says you should. That is the government of President Paul Biya. It is terrible. And we have to talk about this. Let Cameroonians sit and start thinking, how can we unite ourselves together to fight this system? He is blackmailing many, and many cannot talk. Many cannot say anything. Many cannot do anything. There is no department, there is no domain, there is nothing in Cameroon that President Paul Biya is not the leader. Even the church, I'm still afraid. Because we are seeing churches today carrying their problems to divisional officers. And he decides what? And through that, if he's too tough, he called the president. President Paul Biya has also made himself to be too scarce. To see him is like seeing God. And even opposition party, when you threaten him up to a point, he will invite you to sit with him face to face. And from that day, you will start behaving like him. And all the vibration will finish. That is what happened to SDF in 2010 when President Paul Biya visited Bamenda and invited Nijan Frondi to come sit with him. From that day, SDF dissolved and becomes nothing. That is who President Paul Biya is. And that is what he has been doing.